It's Championship Sunday in Columbus, Ohio. The Scarlet Course on the campus of The Ohio State University playing host its final round coverage of the Nationwide Children's Hospital Championship. So much on the line today and during these finals. Can't wait to see how it all plays out. Steve Burkowski alongside the Players Champ Craig Perks. Some highlights from earlier today. Brandon Hagee for birdie at 4.
Just 3 par 5s on this golf course, and that's his 7th in 10 par 5s he's played. He's taken advantage of his length.
Scottie Scheffler now at 6.
Man that finished 3rd on the regular season points list. He's going to the tour. He's finished 2nd twice, looking to try and win for the 2nd time.
That birdie would get Scheffler to 11 under, then Hagee at 7, his 2nd.
Well, this hole's 400 yards. He's driven it over the green. And oh, by the way, the short game's pretty good too.
Length can go a long way for Brandon Hagee. The chip in for Eagle at the 7th. That would get him at 12 under. He'd give one back at 8. He's got a 1-shot lead on a pressure-packed Sunday afternoon in Ohio. Golf Channel, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the Korn Ferry Tour Finals. Today from Columbus, Ohio, it's live final round coverage of the Nationwide Children's Hospital Championship. Warmest day of the week here in Columbus, temperatures in the low 90s, but things continuing to heat up as we take a look at downtown Columbus, the capital city of the Buckeye State. Beautiful looking skyline, and then a couple miles down the road, the Scarlet Course on the campus of The Ohio State University, opened back in 1938, Alistair McKenzie design. And for the 7th consecutive year, this tournament part of the Korn Ferry Tour Finals. One of the best and most complete examinations these players see all season long. Par 71, just over 7,400 yards. Someone's going to leave with that trophy by day's end. 5 years ago, it was Justin Thomas, a winner here in Columbus. He's leading the way at the BMW Championship on the PGA Tour this week. Steve Burkowski, Craig Perks with you. So glad you could join us. Phil Blackmar calling the action. Gary Christian, Tripp Eisenhower down on the golf course for us. And Chantel McCabe handling the interviews. Going to be a lot of fun here in the final round as we go out to the 10th. Scottie Scheffler, his 3rd, and Tripp Eisenhower's watching.
If there is a weakness in this young man's game, it is the short game, at least statistically, but no weakness there.
Oh, that was excellent. That Kentucky bluegrass is now dried out. And Steve, you mentioned complete examination. It is that today with the winds up over 15 miles an hour.
Over to 13, and we say hello to Phil.
Yeah, and good afternoon. Brendan Todd here on the par 3 today, measuring 196 yards. Want to keep it below this hole if you can. Settle down. Tough pitch from over. All right. Good chance for birdie now. Great opportunity here today for Brendan Todd.
Back at the 10th, Jamie Arnold, long birdie putt.
Yeah, now really smart play from the left rough. Only had 100 yards, didn't even challenge this whole location. Very smart play, but leaves a makeable birdie putt.
Out in 33, 3 birdies, no bogeys, and 2 back of the lead for the 36-year-old Australian who's dreamt of going to the PGA Tour.
Go back over to the 9th now, and Rodriguez, who is struggling today, has a par putt from just off the bat. Gary Christian out with this group.
I think so, yeah. He hit it in a spot where there's an awful lot of people hitting it. Very firm and runs off the back here. Went close to the crowd. Kind of in a matted down area. And just could get it to this point. As you say, it's been a bit of a struggle so far today. The conditions certainly a lot more difficult than earlier in the week. Bit of wind, firm.
Probably similar, Gary, to the afternoon on Thursday when the scoring average went up quite a bit.
Yeah, I think so. Certainly more windswept. I think that's going to be the big factor today.
Good putt there for Rodriguez. He jumped out with a birdie on the 2nd, but followed it up with 3 consecutive bogeys and a bogey on the 8th. Needs a really good backside here.
Go ahead to the 10th, see if Scottie Scheffler can save his par.
Yeah, just enough to pay attention to. Right edge putt. mentioned no weakness in his game, Craig. Leads the tour and all around. That is such an important category. And you lead in birdies as well. You're going to be up there on that money list every year, or points list, excuse me.
He leads in a lot of things, Tripp. And the short game, you mentioned it, struggling, but excellent numbers this week.
Back to the 9th now, Hagee for par. Great putt there. Hit a really good tee shot here at the 9th. Had to save par. Really tough hole location in the back of the green today here. The wind's blowing about 10 to 15 forecasted this afternoon. Over the 11th now, and Anirban Lahiri with his second as the greens firm up. This becomes a very difficult hole. Over 470 yards long, big gaping bunker in front. Got that to sit down pretty quick. A little surprising. Good shot.
Let's go ahead to 16. Our first look at the short par 4. Robert Streb, a winner here a year ago. This is second.
Yeah, defending champion. You don't really want to be back, but playing well again. Not only today, but this week. 4 under on his round, 8 under, 3 back of the lead. Post, maybe try and get to 10 under and see what happens with the tough conditions.
Now over at 12, the youngster, Victor Hovland, 21-year-old. Knocked it on the par 5 and 2. This for Eagle. He's 8 under, 3 back. Open with that 64 on Thursday.
Yeah, and he said that he has struggled on the greens this week, and he's been trying to force things, and you can't really do that. These greens are not as quick as you'd ordinarily see at professional levels. There has to be an adjustment made. Just one birdie in this round. Maybe this could fire things up, get him within one. From this far, Steve, up the hill, up and around some slopes, just the mentality is trying to putt, and he's going to do that. Excellent.
You alluded to the fact that he said this golf course became U.S. Open-like the past couple of days. Well, he was a low amateur at Pebble Beach a couple of months ago. Very different kind of layout, but maybe that mentality to adjust and adapt.
That was the lowest score relative to par in the history of the U.S. Open for an amateur. I guess he knows how to handle those tough conditions.
Tee at 10, Hagee set to go.
Certainly one of the more demanding tee shots here. Gaping bunkers down the left to right wind. You can easily get going on that wind into the tree line.
Gary, I've seen some guys get within 40 yards of this green. This guy's the longest hitter this week. And if that lands in the fairway on the downslope, it could really take off. In the rough, it's going to be an awkward angle to that left hole location.
Let's go up to 13.
And Brendan Todd has this for birdie. Pretty quick putt, moving to the left a little. Chance to get to 10 under. That's a great birdie there. We're projecting somewhere around 5th place, maybe 6th place, enough to get your PGA Tour card. Solo 6 maybe. We won't know, though, certainly until the end of the 3 weeks. Ben Taylor now drove it in trouble off the tee of the 11th. This is 3rd shot coming in over the bunker. Settle down. Wow, that'll settle it down. How about that shot? Ben Taylor came in at 8 under par. That gets him to -9 and a tie for 5th. Finished just outside the top 25 this year in the Korn Ferry Tour, trying to make his way to the PGA Tour. Brandon Hagee right now, he's on top at 11 under par. And this is Victor Hovland over at the 13th. Playing a little down breeze. At 196, the ball will release, or has for most players. Land it short, let it roll. Interesting tint to the side. You get discounted beverages for birdies, and he's going to have a great chance to make another one there. They're having a good time up there today at the 13th.
Hovland did 2-putt for birdie at the 12, so a chance for back-to-back as we go over to 11.
And Lahiri for birdie really had an off year this year on the PGA Tour. Has played quite well the last couple of years. This year finished 178th in the FedEx Cup points. Trying to make his way back to the PGA Tour. All sorts of things can contribute to why a player ends up back here off the tour. It can be injuries, it can be trying to change your golf swing. It's be a bad year.
Head to 16, Robert Streb. This for birdie.
Yeah, up the hill, braking to his left. You've just got to hit it firmly enough. Take the brake out of it. Seen a lot of that this week, Steve.
Yeah, everyone's saying green's just a touch slower than they normally expect here at the Scarlet Course, but still bogey-free on a Sunday for the defending champ. Thanks so much for joining us here in Ohio. Steve Burkowski, Craig Perks with you. And when we get to these finals events, in years past, it has been 4 finals events and all about the money. This year it's points and 3 events. What is the dynamic of this final round all about?
I don't think the mentality changes. It was interesting what Jamie Arnold said. We always think it's a sprint through these finals. He said, no, it's a marathon. You've got 3 weeks to get the job done. You can have 1 great week and get it done, or you can have 3 really consistent weeks. And to me, that's what, as we look at this projected points now, this is strictly for the finals. You have to take the top 25 guys that got their cards in the regular season. So we're projecting somewhat over 213, 15, 220 points. So if you look right now, then there's 3 guys that'll make it, and they've certainly put themselves, they've guaranteed a spot. You certainly get over 400 points you've got there. But then all of these guys at the tied for 4th and tied for 8th and down, they're all jockeying for a position. They potentially may not be able to win the golf tournament, but they know if I can just make maybe a couple of more birdies, get inside that top 5, it's not going to guarantee anything. We don't know till we get to the Korn Ferry Tour Championship. It certainly locks a lot of things up so they can just play relatively stress-free those last 2.
Sort of applies to a guy like we just saw, Robert Streb, trying to maybe make another birdie or two coming in. And Scottie Scheffler, this young man, you alluded to it. He's got his PGA Tour card through the regular season, so doesn't count on that list of finals points as we just showed.
Well, Scheffler certainly in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, hit a 3-wood off the tee and going to try to hit a big cut here. Wind helping that. Further left he goes, the less lip he has to deal with. He didn't get it clean, though. This is going to be, leave about 40, 30 yards to the hole.
That is a big gaping bunker over there to the left. Pinches in this fairway, doglegs left around that bunker. Plenty of green to work with in that pitch, but he won't be able to see the putting surface.
Back to 10, second for Brandon Hagee.
From 89 yards, I don't think he can go with this flag. This is definitely a US Open type shot. Had to play well away from that.
And you can see how despondent he was. You know, drove it in the fairway, was 85 yards and can't even go at the flag. But this is going to require the mental acumen to get this job done, not only the physical.
Back to the 11th now in Arnold.
Wind really starting to pick up left to right and almost exclusively now on this shot. He's got an opening, but he's got to watch the green. Now he's playing well left. That's the safe play.
It looks like it might run over just over the back or stay on the back. No, he's all right. Long putt for birdie. Finished 38th this year in the regular season on the Korn Ferry Tour.
Brendan Todd getting ready for his second at 14. He's 10 under. He's a shot back.
Yeah, and coming out of the right rough with that wind whipping left to right, the whole location tucked in behind the bunker. I'm not even sure, even with, it looks like a wedge, it could even go at this flag as well. Got to have the clarity in the mind to hit the right shot here and commit to it. And that's exactly where you needed to do it.
4 under on the day, hole high at the 14th. Brendan Todd with that birdie chance to try Brandon Hagee at the top of the leaderboard. What a Sunday so far being put together by Brendan Todd, a former winner on the PGA Tour, Byron Nelson champ 5 years ago. And speaking of Hagee, he's on the green at 10, sizing this one up.
Well, he's just on the wrong side of this spine that runs into the back of the green, so just got to go up and over. Not too hard of a putt.
Yeah, that one? Yeah, around that. Yeah.
Just slightly back into the wind as well. So you've got a few little extra things to think about.
Yeah, so this is what Gary was talking about, the spine and everything feeds here, but there's also some influence from here as well. So we've seen a lot of guys have trouble in uphill putts this week, but now you add into the extra ingredient, Gary, the wind. So it's pretty tough from this distance to get the right speed.
Good roll. Yeah, good stroke.
Amazing the mentality there. It's such a defensive second, and then it was a good aggressive putt coming up the hill.
The 11th now, and Scheffler with his third.
66 yards, Phil, but the problem is this green slopes away from him the whole way from that bunker down to the hole. You really got to land it just on the front edge, and that's what he's trying to do. Throwing it up, looks like he's got some spin on it.
He certainly
That
does.
was well done.
It was, Tripp. I watched him hit wedges warming up, and he really plays a nice trajectory on his wedges. The dangerous combo. Hit it far, putt good, be good with the wedge. How high can you stack it? 13 now, Hovland for birdie. That's what started happening second and third rounds. The first day he was hitting on all cylinders, but the next 2 days not quite so much. Big miss there. That was a pretty easy putt coming up the hill.
Back to the green at 10, Ben Martin for birdie.
A little bit further into the green, maybe a little bit more pace when it comes over that spine.
Needs a spark on this back nine. He's over par for the round, 1 over. Began the day tied for third, now outside the top 10.
Over the 11th now, Arnold for birdie.
Smart play, Phil, but it leaves a difficult two-putt. It's what the Scarlet course presents. If you play away from these holes, you're going to have a really tough two-putt. He's got some work left.
And if you play at the holes, you can have a difficult up and down. Really is quite the strategic quandary, particularly with some wind blowing.
Martin for his par at 10. He remains 7 under 4 back, playing on a medical. He was hurt most of this season. Last PGA Tour start back in Hawaii, and just 5 Korn Ferry Tour events this year. The balky back gets many golfers.
Yeah, exactly.
Back to the 11th now, and Harrington with a long birdie effort.
Yeah, same issue with Scott. Had to play over here, couldn't go at the hole. This part of his game has just been so solid, Phil, the last couple of weeks.
Couldn't be more right. Last week he made just some really good pressure putts down the stretch. Out to earning his PGA Tour card for the first time. He's got a little work left there. 11th, the hardest hole on the golf course today. Just 5 birdies. One of those was a 60-yard hole out. The 17th now, and Streb for birdie. Robert has a really nice round underway. 5 under on his round. Has vaulted all the way up into a tie for 5th. One more birdie right there. That gets him to 9 under. Excuse me, tie for 5th now. And he's right around that number. Who knows what's going to happen on the way in? Another birdie at the 18th. He just might earn his PGA Tour card back this first week.
Currently 5 tied at 9 under par. Streb again a winner here a year ago, so certainly good vibes on the Scarlet course.
Back to the 11th, and Harrington for par.
Well, you want to know how good a shot Scottie Scheffler hit. Harrington putted it and couldn't get inside Scottie. So this is the good news about this putt is it's not much break in it. And these greens, they just are intimidating the players mainly with the way they look. They look like they're not going to roll as smooth as they do, but I don't see much in this one. Downhill the whole way.
Good read, Tripp. Good read, good putt. Harrington stays at 8 under par, currently in 10th place. Alone. Hagee did tap in for his par with 10th. And now Scheffler.
A very similar line, just a little bit more to the right of where Scottie putted from the back of the green. Still same issue, not much break in it at all.
Tripp, you cover the PGA Tour a lot. How do you like this guy's game next year?
I tell you what, buy stock, right? Anytime you lead this tour in birdies, that to me is the barometer. When you can make a ton of birdies, you're going to have a very successful career. And he drives the ball great. He's first in ball striking. He's fourth in total driving. That club's not bad either, Phil.
No, it's not, and I'm with you. I think he's got a bright future. He's fun to watch. Good young man. Got a good head on his shoulders. Very, very competitive. He's got that look about him too. Now we head back to the tee with 3-wood. Hagee.
Yeah, it's a fairly wide area, just right at that bunker. He could carry the bunker with a driver. I think this is a sensible play. Again, that left to right wind can certainly get it drifting.
And it looks as though that may have found the rough.
Hang in there. Look like it does.
If you're a right-handed player, any wind out of the left normally is not a good feeling direction for most players. Now back up to the green. Arnold has this left for par. Very nicely done. He's in a great place to earn his PGA Tour card. Currently tied for second. Can he get it done the last 8 holes?
Green at 14. Brendan Todd for birdie and a share of the lead.
Up and over a little ridge, breaking back down to the right. Misjudgment of the read there, but still 4 is an excellent score on what is arguably one of the most difficult par 4s on this tour.
Keeps Brendan Todd at 10 under, a shot off the lead. He looks to get back to the PGA Tour. It has been a long, arduous journey for the former Georgia Bulldog, but taking care of business here this week in Columbus. Back at 12, Jamie Arnold on the tee at the par 5.
And contrast and wind to the rest of the week. Been downwind most of the week, and now it's back in ever so slightly from the right. Really got to challenge that right side. That's what he's done, very high.
Yeah, our TrackMan Tracer has it going down the right-hand side. You could tell from where he teed up there, Tripp was trying to ride the, well, not ride the wind, at least right to left would use the wind to his advantage.
The 11th now, and Hagee will be first with his second.
Yeah, it becomes like a chess match now, doesn't it, Phil? Out of position. Where can I leave it to give myself the best chance of making a par here? He does have an avenue to the left edge of the green, but he's going to have to be a low cut from that position.
Is the lie good enough that he can spin it and maybe curve it?
Yeah, it is, and plus the wind's going left to right, so it will make it easier, and certainly has the speed to be able to achieve it. But we saw him in a similar position yesterday. Pulled it a little bit further left.
Take a look at the lie. You can see it's sitting pretty well, and the grass is growing with the ball. You can curve that one if you want.
So your team ran yeah,
Well, he got 181 yards, so it's a relatively short iron.
So it's going to kind of go out kind of quick. Okay. I like this. Okay.
All right, Phil, just for the people
get it
at
around
home,
that tree, the second tree there. Yeah.
whole location's basically right here. And what he's going to do is try and hit this low cut around the tree, correct?
Well, I think so. But I don't know that he's going to try to bend it that much. It sounded like he's worried about the ball coming up kind of quick, so I'm not sure how much loft he's got. The flatter the face, the more you can curve it. So he didn't really try to curve that, Craig.
Just left edge of the green?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And personally, I would try to curve it more. Which is a tougher shot, from the bunker or that long chip from left of the green?
Very good point. I would much prefer to be in that bunker.
Plenty of room from that bunker. Plenty of green to deal with. Sometimes a safer looking play can leave you a more difficult next shot.
Scheffler at 12.
Wind really blowing strong right now. Why, great start line. This one should be just fine.
It's such a good angle. It's a distorted angle, but we knew right on the edge of that tree would catch the fairway.
Green at 12. Ben Taylor. That's for back-to-back birdies to get to 10 under.
He's got a familiar friend in the bag. This is a putter he won with in Bogota last year, back in the bag for the first time since. And oh, it's so good to see you again.
Well, would you ever take it out?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Taylor now joining the mix. 1 of 4 at 10 under par. A shot behind Brandon Hagee. Getting bunched up at the top here on a Sunday afternoon in Columbus. Scottie Scheffler at 12, his second.
215, right hole location. 3-iron in hand. Smart plays the middle of the green, but what do I know? This is right at it.
He's got a different mentality. Even Scott Harrington mentioned that yesterday. These guys have nothing to lose. They've already locked up their cards, so they can be a lot more aggressive. They're not protecting things that I mentioned on camera with the guys trying to get their privileges, like Jamie Arnold.
Keep it right here. Arnold second.
That's 203. That's a 6-iron. Way up in the air. Great looking shot if it gets there.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Absolutely glorious golf shot right there for the Australian.
That's a guy trying to go out and take care of it today. Awfully impressive.
Nice job. Thanks, bud.
He said it would mean everything getting a card. I've worked my whole life. Australian dreaming of playing on the tour.
Over the 11th now, and Hagee with his third.
Yeah, not easy. A hummock halfway in the way. About 2 foot. He's got to run it up and over that, I think. And the momentum past this hole, run off the green, and this one's going to be in the second cut, I think.
That's the trouble from over there. If you don't catch a good lie, it's a really hard pitch. Again, you think you're playing safe sometimes, and you find yourself in a more difficult situation than you would have had going for it. '15th now. Brandon Todd with his second. What a round he has. 4 under par. One of the best rounds of the day. What a timely time to have it. And pretty good shot there, short of the hole. You don't want to go long here.
Up to 18, Robert Streb looking to finish up with birdie. This would get him in at 10 under.
These finals are easy for Robert Streb. I go back to round 2. Remember, he played in the afternoon. He shot 67 when the scoring average was 72, so he bested the field by 5 shots. He's going to shoot 66 today. The scoring average right at level par, 71. So 2 incredible rounds of golf in some very difficult conditions may lock things up for him.
At the very least, it will be a big move forward to returning to the PGA Tour for Robert Streb. As you said, the next few weeks, you just sort of have to see how it all plays out. But certainly the start Robert Streb wanted here this week in Columbus.
Well, Jamie Arnold said it's more of a marathon, but it's great to get off, have a quick, first 10 or 12 miles.
And back to the 11th now, and Hagee with this for par from off the green.
Well, he certainly had a very good look as the ball raced past. I'm not sure how much he could learn from it, the speed it went.
How you like putting this?
Well, it's not too bad.
Gary.
If you're trying to make it, I mean, the putters are probably a safe play to get up and down in 2. It may go in, but I think if you really had to make it, I believe you would pitch this ball. You might even just take an 8 or 9 iron. You can see the tuft of grass right in front of it there. It's going to hop up in the air most likely after he hits it. Yep.
Phil, is that a lack of comfort maybe in that position for Hagee?
Yeah, it's I think he just didn't want to exacerbate a mistake. You can see here it hopped up there over that tuft as we talked about, and I think sometimes you find yourself out of position. It's best to just go ahead and take your medicine. But if you've got a really good short game, You're trying to pitch that ball in the hole from right there.
100% of the time, you're trying to pitch that ball in the hole.
You're going to make it. You're going to make it probably what, 20% of the time.
Green at 12. Scheffler hit a couple of good ones here, Trip.
That's an understatement, Steve. And he's away. That's amazing. He had a great shot. This is, I mean, a little bit, you know, right to left, right hole location. He had a beautiful high shot right at the hole. And I wouldn't say this is a one he's looking to make. He's got a lot of break left to right. There's a huge slope to his left that he's got to kick it way out. And he's just trying to get the speed where it falls down towards the front of the green. The center of his hole's about at 8 o'clock or maybe even close to 9 o'clock on a clock facing him, if you can picture that.
It's an excellent putt. It's an excellent putt because you always think of an apex point, but you have to remember there's curvature to that apex point, and then it curves even more. A lot of time you underread putts like that, but a lot going on. Good effort.
Scheffler has birdied the 12th the first 3 rounds, likely to make it 4 for 4. He's leading the Korn Ferry Tour in par 5 scoring average this season, just under 4.5. So again, to your point, Craig, he's up there in a lot of categories.
Well, a moment ago, you might have heard a roar. Lahiri for birdie here. Now, he was certainly currently in a tie for 7th place when he hit this. And there's where he had the roar, and that boosts him into a tie for 2nd now. Find yourself in this position. You're having that good week. Can you finish it off? Do you have what it takes to finish it off? Here you are.
Well, Steve mentioned it. He played well here in the finals in 2015, so you can draw from those memories.
Back at 12, Harrington for eagle.
Yeah, half as close as Scottie on the same line. He doesn't have that huge slope that Scottie had to traverse in the first part of his putt. So this one is doable. He did make a 3 here yesterday.
He told our Chantel McCabe that yesterday felt no pressure whatsoever through this week after realizing a dream in Portland at the end of the regular season.
It's that freedom many don't have here in the finals. Said the last 3 days hasn't really felt that extra burden because he achieved the lifelong goal. Now here in the finals, trying to improve his priority ranking. Arnold for eagle at 12.
Well, best shot deserves the best make for eagle. This is a pretty easy putt.
I mean, it's not like Jamie's just popped out of nowhere. He played well in the regular season, 38. He came in here with 2 top 10s in his last 4 starts.
And with everything ever changing, that birdie gets Arnold to a share of the lead with Hagee. And we know Brandon Hagee's having troubles at 11. Scheffler, a little work here, Trip?
No, not really. I think he's going to be on top of the leaderboard here momentarily.
Business as usual for Scottie Scheffler here this week in Columbus. He moves to 11 under. He is a co-leader.
How do you hit it? How you got to go?
Looks very comfortable, doesn't he?
Yeah, you finish your regular season 3rd on the points.
and having won, so it's a tangible result.
13th now, Hostler for birdie. Chance to get to 10 under par and join that crowd. Really good putt there from Bo Hostler. Got that one to the hole.
They'll let you know up there in pub 13 whether they're pleased or dissatisfied. So maybe Bo said this one's on me.
The 11th now, how quickly things can change. Hagee for bogey. A moment ago he was in, leading the tournament by 2, makes bogey there, and now he drops into 3rd place. One more bogey and he may not make enough this week to earn his card.
The advantage though, longest driver in the field this week, heading to a par 5.
Hovland at 14 for par. So he had the great look for birdie at 13. He missed it. Going to give one back here at 14. Now Victor Hovland falls to 8 under par, 3 shots off the lead, and currently a 3-way tie for 10th. That smile seemingly disappearing that we saw on Thursday.
Probably should on Sunday.
Hagee at 12.
Well, as you said, it comes at a good time, this par 5, doesn't it? Even with a different wind direction, can still hit a medium iron into this in 2 with a good drive.
And he's more of a cutter of the golf ball, isn't he, Gary? So he can cut it up against that right wind.
Left to right dogleg in effect as well.
Oh boy. Big sweeping hook. Going to miss well left. It's nearly on the grey course.
Over to the 13th now in Arnold.
Phil, question. You're standing here at 11 under.
How far is that 1 on right?
This has definitely got to pick the right club, but he's got 9-iron in his hand. Wind really helping. But Phil, if you're standing here 11 under, you think you've got to get to 13 to have a chance to win? Is that your mindset?
That's interesting. Are you trying to win the tournament? Or are you trying to finish in the top 5 or 6? Depends which way you approach it. We've heard players going both ways. I do think it's going to take 13 probably to playoff trip.
I agree with that. It's a good shot if it really. Oh boy, what a hard bounce.
Well, we've been seeing that coming downwind, and that's going to be a difficult pitch. You'll get relief most likely from the television tower. 15 now. Todd has this left for par. Ran his birdie putt pretty far by. Oh, what a big miss. I have so much admiration for him. Craig, you've talked about it. You get things going bad like he has had it going. You feel like the entire gallery is staring at you. Every snicker you hear, you feel like is about you. You become self-conscious. It takes a special player to go out there every day, keep working on their game, and challenge that emotional garbage can of demons you got down there that so easily want to come out. And right now, they're coming out for him. He's going to have to battle those demons these last few holes. He's got a great opportunity, but he's feeling it slipping away right here with that bogey. Falls into a tie for 6th place. Back at 13, Scheffler now.
He's got a 9-iron too. This is very high. Looks to. Oh, that landed in the right spot, looks like.
Oh, it sure did.
Nice shot, man.
That's a great chance for birdie there for Scheffler. A tough hole a few players have made look easy.
To 12, Hagee second.
Well, he does have a small avenue here. I think that front bunker wouldn't be too bad. Just can't miss this right.
Oh my goodness, Gary. What a power. What a lethal weapon that is. And carry it in the center of the green. And got a really good chance to putt there and make it 4 after a wayward drive.
While we have a moment, let's go down to Chantel McCabe.
Yeah, the defending champion here with me. Rob, you had a 66 today, and the wind was kind of a different direction. How did the course play overall?
It was a little softer earlier because it took the wind a little while to get here. It's obviously here now, but just a little bit different. Maybe a little more downwind here and a little more into the wind there than the previous few days. But yeah, it just gets tougher as the day goes on and dries out.
Last year there were 4 finals events. This year only 3. From the pressure you dealt with in the playoff to win last year, what have you realized and what's your focus heading into this final?
Yeah, it's, you have one less opportunity, so you're probably pushing a little bit harder, but you probably need a little less, a few less points than if there were 4. So, doing the best you can, but you want to capitalize when you're close to the lead.
And we always worry so much about math when it comes to golf, trying to calculate those numbers. Is it a weird feeling to not know exactly where you stand because the point system is brand new?
Yeah, that, and then depends on how many guys that already have their card play well. So there's a lot of different variables, but if you play really good golf, then it takes care of itself.
You expect more low numbers out there? We're seeing guys kind of turn things around on the back nine.
We'll see. It's not a super easy finish. The pin on 18 is tough, so there might not be too many birdies there, but you hit a few good shots, you can make birdies.
Thanks for the time. Good luck.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Sunday 66 for Robert Streb, and Craig, he would be in that precarious spot right now in tie for 5th with a couple others.
Yeah, we're going to say we're going with at least 210 or above. So yeah, he's hoping that the challenging stretch coming home, some of these guys may falter and he might fall into that tie for 2nd, but there are currently 5 guys ahead of him on the leaderboard. But he's right, Scottie Scheffler already has his card. A few others lurking around there that have played well in the regular season.
Over the 13th now, Arnold with the long par putt.
Yeah, he tried to play a low shot, Phil. He had to throw that thing straight up in the air, in my opinion, to have any chance to keep it close. But hands full here for par, and always tough to get it to the hole.
Well, it really looks like that wind's picking up out there too.
It is indeed.
Phil, what's the biggest adjustment with a different wind and a very breezy afternoon these guys have to make with so much on the line?
Craig mentioned it earlier. I think you need to have a clear mind. You need to come up with the strategy that fits you best and how you feel at that moment and the changing conditions. And where you might have been playing some holes aggressively, now maybe they become par holes. And other holes that maybe you're trying to make par might become birdie holes. You got to adjust your strategy. That takes a clear mind, and that's what a good caddy can help you with too. Can ask you questions and get you thinking about what you feel and coming up with your best strategy.
So with the bogey at 13, Arnold drops back to a tie for 2nd. Scottie Scheffler a 1-shot lead at 11 under par.
And I'm going to say a 1-shot lead for now. This is a right edge putt. Phil, it's as easy as you can get for a right-hander. The only issue is that wind is picking up, as you pointed out, and it's going contrary to this putt. So that could straighten it out ever so slightly.
He may have expected that trip, and it didn't happen. Not used to seeing him miss putts. You see him taking another look. Fooled him a little bit. Expected that wind to hold it up. Didn't happen. So opportunity missed for Scheffler, but he remains on top of the leaderboard. But he's already got his card. How about these other guys bunched up here trying to earn a PGA Tour card?
Back at 12, long eagle putt for Brandon Hagee.
Up and over a couple of humps here. Very difficult indeed. That's carrying a pretty good amount of pace. It's got to slow down.
Coming off the rails a little bit last 30 or 40 minutes for Brandon Hagee. So much on the line. It's Phil, one of those when you've been hurt for 5 months and trying to get into some form. You get in these pressure-packed moments, how do you respond?
Well, it is, and certainly he has a little bit of butterflies, I'm sure, at the moment, particularly coming off that bogey at the last.
Up to 14, Beau Hossler, this for birdie to join Scottie Scheffler at 11 under.
He's made a few more putts today than we've seen him make earlier in the week. There's another one. How about that one?
Graduate of this tour a couple years ago, back-to-back birdies for Beau Hossler. He's now 11 under par, co-leader, alongside another Texas Longhorn, Scottie Scheffler. So Beau looking to take care of things here in Columbus, get back to the PGA Tour. Up at 18, Curtis Luck, this for birdie. He finished tied for 5th here a year ago.
Yeah, he earned his PGA Tour card for the first time, the young man, and wonder what he may have learned out there. A little more speed there would have been huge. Currently in a tie for 9th. That would have vaulted him to tie for 5th. But a good start to these finals puts him in very good position to earn his card back.
Hagee for his birdie at 12.
Well, that was a big putt for momentum right there.
Considering where Brandon Hagee hit that tee shot, as you said, Phil, to build some momentum, get back to 11 under 3, currently tied for the lead here. Final round of the Nationwide Children's Hospital Championship. Always so good to be back in the capital city as we go back at the action at 13.
And Hagee.
9-9 for Brandon. Oh, this is a poor one. This is heading towards that right bunker.
Just lost focus. Will depend on the lie in there. Good lie, not a hard bunker shot. We've seen a couple plug this week.
Up ahead at 16, Brendan Todd. This to bounce back with birdie.
What a bounce back this would be if he can get this in the hole. Oh my goodness, that is some guts right there. You know what he had to be feeling, everything he's been through the last few years, to come back at this moment like that with a birdie. Spectacular.
Todd now 10 under, 1 back. He's got a couple holes to go here on Sunday. 14, second for Arnold.
146. This is sand wedge. Wind is helping from the left. It's kind of a right hole location, so this is doable. It's going to go down 1. I thought he had a little too much. This is his higher lofted sand wedge.
Well, Tripp, same question back at you. You're in this position right now. At the angle that he has, you take this whole location on?
Yes, absolutely, especially after a bogey. I mean, he's got a wedge in his hand, got a gap wedge. It's 146.
Take this on, though, you risk bringing 5 into play.
Well, you do, but you know what? At this point in the tournament, well, he played smart. He played out to the left. This is the middle of the green.
Yeah, you've still got to play. You play aggressively to conservative targets. You start getting defensive in your swings, then you can miss greens with wedges. But these are some difficult hole locations, swirling winds, and so much at stake.
No, I'm looking at like the left edge of the bunker. Yeah, over the left side of the bunker.
Scott Harrington now his second at 14.
131, and he's got a not good angle. He's going to say he's saying left edge of the bunker, but he likes to draw the golf ball. The ball's below his feet. It's a 56-degree sand wedge. Wind kind of softening a little bit from what it's been blowing the last really hour.
It's just controlling. Lie looks to be decent, but the grain of the grass or the rough growing towards the flag. Be careful of the jumper.
Yeah, this is safe play. This is out to the left. Needs to get up.
And so you do play, you know, away from the flag conservatively. That is nearly an impossible 2-putt. Coming up and over the slope, a lot of movement in both directions. It's the greatness of this difficult 14.
Which is 110. Land at 110 sort of driving.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Good advice from Scottie McGinnis. 118 to the hole, so they're trying to land at 110. That's how much bounce is in these greens, even with the sand wedge. That'll tell you how firm they are at home. But again, the wind from the left. Really now more from the left than helping at this point.
Would help get to that hole location.
Yeah, it will.
Oh gosh.
Oh
Trouble.
boy, it's drifting right.
Trouble.
Well, it wasn't his best, but at least he's going to be putting. Avoided the cavernous bunker.
Yeah. Holy. No, let's keep coming out right.
Jump ahead 1 to 15.
Hostler with his second. I agree, though. You get a wedge or short iron. I don't care the situation. You got to take advantage of that short club. Give yourself a look at birdie. Because there's some hard holes out here you do have to play conservative on. Bo had that on a good line. That's not an easy putt he's left himself there. 13 now, Hagee second.
I think this might be a great barometer of where he is right now. And came out a little soft, and an extra layer of focus there on the clock as well.
Well, Brandon Hagee currently tied for the lead at 11 under. That's a long par putt he has left. Bo Hostler has a birdie putt to take the lead. So does Scottie Scheffler. Hagee for par at 13. That was to stay in a tie for the lead. He now drops back a shot. And what a difference one shot makes. He drops back to a tie for third now. And just one shot ahead of sixth. Things are so tight atop this leaderboard. A mistake can really, really hurt.
Moment ago at 14, Harrington for birdie.
All of 60 feet. up a slope or two.
Yeah, right there is when it crests that ridge. And that's quite magnificent there. Trip.
Now live, Scheffler for his birdie at 14.
I can tell you he was worried in the air because he knows that bunker was insta-bogey. Now he can turn it into a birdie. Breaking to his left.
You know, he's already won in the regular season. He's already got to the tour. But, you know, guys like Justin Thomas have won this event. So winning, it's nearly like winning a FedEx Cup playoff event. It's another feather in your cap. So everything is secure and safe for the young 23-year-old, but it's another sort of ratchet up.
And the chance for the golden ticket to be fully exempt and get a spot in the players up for grabs.
Absolutely. As we head to the 17th now, and Todd asking for it to settle. Hole cut on the front left today. Pretty easy hole location, but that won't be an easy putt coming back down the hill. Easiest hole location of the week. We're playing 213, so not a short shot by any means. Boy, what a birdie it was on the last for Brendan.
Back at 14, Arnold to say par.
I tell you what, back-to-back bogeys at this point would be, yeah, there you go. Good save right there.
But they would have been detrimental. Tripp, I think that's where you're going. So Arnold stays at 10 under, one back as we go to 16. Victor Hovland for birdie.
Up to back-to-back bogeys. Now, these are all learning experiences. We know that he's sort of the odd man out of that trio of phenoms right now, with Wolff and Morikawa already winning.
Scheffler makes his par at 14. He remains 11 under, so Scottie and Bo Hossler
the golden ticket is the most amount of points earned through the entire regular season for the guys that finished in the top 25. They've already secured their playing privileges on the tour. They're trying to get fully exempt, which is so huge. You're not on the reshuffle, and you guys mentioned in the players.
Bo Hossler now for birdie at 15. Would have been for 3 in a row, and there's another golden ticket here in the finals for the leading money winner as well, just for the finals only.
Tee at 14. Brandon Hagee trails by 1 and going to launch another driver.
3 hardest driving holes, 10, 11, and 14, all left to right wins. Got to get this one in the fairway.
And left edge of the fairway would be even better. Pick a specific target.
It's heading down that left side. I think it's going to hit the tree line.
Yeah, it sure did. He talked about if he could just continue to drive it well. He'd driven it so well the first 3 days, averaged 10 fairways, averaged 345 yards off the tee, but today has only hit 4 fairways.
Sunday afternoon, speeding right along here in Columbus, Ohio. Scheffler and Hossler tied for the lead at 11 under. Tee at 15, Scheffler with iron. Sorry, Phil.
This is 3-iron, driving iron. Wind out of the right and helping. Well, this is on line with a bunker, but I don't think it's going to get there.
It did not, Tripp. Stays in the fairway. Maybe that's why he hit 3-iron. The wider fairway back there really pinches in if you go a little bit further up.
Up to 18, Tom Hoge. This for par and around a 67.
Jumped him 9 spots on the leaderboard from 18th to 9th. Good back 9 there. Those 4 birdies coming home.
17th now. Todd for birdie coming down the hill. Slope comes out there. You can see where the color of the grass changes. See right there, it's going to take it a little left, and then it turns shiny as it goes downhill. Oh, what a beautiful effort. Wonderful touch there. Particularly given this circumstance. Currently in a tie for 3rd place.
Ben Martin second at 14.
And a fairly heavy lie. At least there's the correct side to come in from. Just trying to scuttle something up there.
Jump a little right.
This is where the field and imagination comes in.
He's got to fight hard. Get something out of this week. Began this final round tied for third. He's now 16th. And
No more than 45.
just try and get, he's not going to win this golf tournament, but get back inside the top 10 to
We gotta keep
take some positives out of the week.
Former winner on the PGA Tour, Ben Martin, victorious in Vegas 5 years ago. Now Hagee.
Doesn't come out. Landing on the front. Yep. Just a 3/4 smooth one. You know what? That just inside that tree. Yep.
Another one here, just 145 to the front edge. I think that's where he's looking, somewhere around there. But there's a little bit of guesswork coming out of the rough with the wind coming down and left to right.
Well,
another unforced error there, Craig, in the bunker. Right?
Yeah, it'll all depend on the line. Remember, yesterday he hit some wayward short irons, got some great breaks with lives and bunkers at 15 and 16, but poor tee shot in the rough and now short-sided. He's already made 4 bogeys today.
We head back to the 15th now. Arnold first to go.
Do you think we play what's my on?
9?
Yeah, what does it travel?
144.
I think it's enough. Do you think with a little bit of help that it will go 50?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do.
Okay.
Yes.
He's got 181. This is a 9-iron. Downwind. Pretty much almost straight down right now.
Really don't want to go long here, and it drops off right behind this hole.
It does indeed. But he hits the ball very high. He's kind of pulled this one.
That will not be an easy putt there. I'll have some break to it. Sure sat down quickly. And now I think Scheffler next to go.
Yeah, I'm a little puzzled because we have 187 for Scottie and 181 for Jamie, but they thought that Jamie was away. So, but he's got a tree there filled between him and the hole. But what it does, I think it helps him because he cannot pull it, or it will mess with that tree. But he's got a direct line to the flag, so I think it will actually help him shape this shot. This looks to be enough club just right of the hole.
You know, that bounces on over. That's the problem with hitting 3-iron off the tee. You leave it so far back there, you have to, it becomes a par hole. You hit more club and have a wedge up there, and it's a birdie hole. So kind of, do you want to try to squeeze a driver or a 3-wood in as we watch his reaction, or do you want to leave yourself a difficult second? Thought he hit a good shot.
Up 1-16, second for Bo Hostler.
This is another dangerous back hole location.
Floated.
Can't go long. And that wind back in his face, and you heard him float it up in the wind. But at least it's on the putting surface.
Hagee's third at 14.
It's a good lie under normal circumstances, not too tough. Ooh, came out low. Came out a little bit skinny, I think.
One of the co-leaders overnight. It has been a struggle the last 45 minutes for Brandon Hagee. He's now 10 under, a shot off the lead. Work to do at 14. We'll see if he can save his par when we come back to Columbus. Brandon Hagee to save his par at 14.
Very quick one, just edging right at the end.
Pure guts right there. What a save. Does that give him a little energy coming home these last 4 holes?
Hagee remains one back the lead. We go to 18. Justin Harding finishing up his week, and a world-class player here, Craig.
Well, this would be a world-class finish, Steve. Birdie 17, 18, shoots 68 inside the top 10. And then that is the highest ranked player in the world, 53rd entering these Korn Ferry Finals events.
4 rounds under par for Harding this week.
Scheffler now at 15.
Yeah, not a real good lie. Phil kind of sitting where the grass is going all sorts of different directions. Has to try to throw this straight up in the air. The good news is he's back into the wind. I tell you, that's respectable. That really is. He could have dumped that short real easy.
As good as he putts, he's got in great shape there to maybe save par here.
Up 1 to 16. Hostler for birdie in the outright lead.
Another putt that's really slow, and that's what's troubled him this week. Came up and out of that one quickly.
We've seen him do that virtually all week. Start walking after it shortly after impact.
Well, it's the strength of his game, and it hasn't been there this week. His ball striking's actually been markedly better. But still, hey, he's tied for the lead. Struggling.
Doing something right.
That's pretty good.
Over to 15th now, and Arnold for birdie.
Well, Phil, you said it was a challenging putt. It is. It breaks to his right, then it'll come back left at the hole. Downwind, and this green, I tell you what, I assume after the last group plays this, they're going to put some water on it because it needs it. It's thirsty.
Toasty.
Yes, sir.
Well, good pace, just didn't quite get enough break out there, so he's got an uncomfortable length putt remaining. Currently in a tie for 3rd place. If things were to finish right now, he would earn a PGA Tour card for the first time.
Up to 18. Big second shot here for Brendan Todd.
The wind helps because it actually, from the left, start it in the center of the green, work it towards the flag.
It's going to be left. That's as good as I can do.
And there's just no way you can go at this green with the slope coming off the bunker. But all in all, the putt will be straight up the hill, so and safely in the center of the green. Worthy of a little smile.
That was a long club he had in there to the 18th. That was a flat-faced club with the wind direction.
Correct. All week long it's been down. Now it's back in their face off the tee.
Now Scheffler at 15 for par.
I tell you what, if he goes on to hold a trophy here in a little bit, the par at 11 and this par right here will be 2 I guarantee you he sights. This one especially though, Phil, because he really didn't hit any bad shots.
Center cut there for Scottie Scheffler, who remains tied for the lead with Bo Hostler at 11 under par, 1 shot clear of 4 players. Excuse me, 3 players at the moment. And now Arnold for par. Stay in that group in a tie for 3rd. All right, well done. Good stroke right there. Nice grip pressure in that stroke. No change, no tension in it. It was really well done. 3 to go at earn his PGA Tour card.
Up at 16, Ben Taylor for birdie to join the group at 10 under.
Actually on the correct plateau here, pretty straight and good result.
So Ben Taylor now 3 under on the day, a shot back, inching closer possibly to getting a PGA Tour card.
Go Tigers, plays college golf at LSU.
15T now, Hagee with an iron.
Desperately needs to find a fairway, doesn't he, Phil? That was a low stinging runner. Yeah. Beautifully executed shot.
Look at that ball bound down the fairway. Look at it run. And that's far enough down there to be a very short approach coming in there. Maybe a wedge.
Great par save at 14 by Hagee. In the fairway at the 15th. We head to break looking at today's collegiate leaderboard brought to you by Top Golf and a couple of Texas Longhorns leading the way in the Buckeye State. Scheffler on the tee at 16.
Got a 3-wood in hand. Wind into from the right. becomes a birdie hole if you hit it in the fairway, and well, this should clear that bunker and should be a birdie hole.
That's an aggressive play, and it's a dangerous back hole location. Avoided all the divots, I believe. And good play.
Up to 18, Brendan Todd for a closing birdie and a share of the lead.
All it says is slow, and being able to manage the nerves. It's a good part. He's going to finish, well, right now he's in a 4-way tie for third. That's 267. If it remained the same, everything finished, Brendan Todd would be going back to the tour. That is an absolute remarkable story. Where he's come from, self-admittedly had the ball striking yips, dealt with all the demons and the monsters at the bottom of the reservoir. And I think more than anything, between 2016 and 2018, he made 5 of 44 cuts. In that span, played 76 rounds, only broke 70 twice. He considered leaving the game. He said it was impossible to stay patient. I had my doubts and everything. And I've talked to both of his coaches, actually. Bradley Hughes, he worked together on the swing for about a year. I just got in touch with his performance coach, Ward Jarvis. They've been actually talking about Rick and Keel's story, the St. Louis Cardinals picture, and how they're dealing with that comeback. It's really quite remarkable, touching little moment there. But I went through that and I was unable to come back. And it's, to me, we are supposed to remain unbiased. It's remarkable that he is playing and playing at this level.
Yeah, it's really hard to remain objective with some of these stories. Heggie now out at the 15th.
Just 140 yards left. What do you reckon, Phil? Pitch it 130? Can they commit to something like that?
Just control your distance, isn't it, Gary? I mean,
Yeah.
this is, if you can control your distance, you should have a pretty makeable birdie putt here. Well, a little safe with the line. Just a wedge coming in there. Not aggressive enough there. He left himself about 30 feet, 25 feet. That was a great opportunity to stick it in there close. The 17th now. Taylor with his second from over the green. The front hole location, really misclubbed. End up back there. Trying to make it to the PGA Tour for the first time. That is a beautiful chip. Currently tied for third. He may look back on that shot right there as the shot that got him to potentially to the PGA Tour.
Over at 16, Scott Harrington getting ready for a second out of the rough.
A hard sandwich. It's a little juicy, but it's, well, it comes up a little short, so it'll hop up a little. But I'd rather, is that better than being wrong in the bunker up in the rough? You know? I'm going to kind of smooth the gap. Yeah, like I'm with the gap. Yeah, I'm really trying to fly this thing. 17, 18? Yeah.
He's got 139.
What's the cover over the bunker? All of it is 10 more, so 22. 22. Yeah.
He cannot keep this anywhere on the green if he goes over there near the hole. This lie's got enough grass around it. You've got to play well left and try to land it just on the front. Go. Such a short hole, but you miss the fairway, you're going to pay the price.
Absolutely right, Trip. Takes a lot of self-awareness too, knowing that the firmness of the greens where you can and cannot go.
17 now. Hostler found the bunker, tied for the lead, 2 pars. He's going to earn his PGA Tour card back, and he might win the tournament. Didn't get enough sand there, so he's going to have to make a putt if he's going to make par.
Arnold at 16.
123 gap wedge in hand. Now this is doable from the fairway, and he's taking it on.
Get up.
It's a really good shot, Trip. Took long out of play. Got a putt straight up the hill. Looking in control for a guy that's has never played on the PGA Tour with what's within his grasp.
Now Scheffler.
95 yards. He can definitely do this. He's probably trying to carry it at exactly 90. 5 steps short of it. He can go on line with it, no problem. Wind out of the right. That's a good line.
It actually hit right into the upslope, killed it a little bit, and then spun left. Good lead.
Playing with some freedom in search of his second win on the Korn Ferry Tour this season.
17 now, Hostler. Can he convert? Does not, so he'll drop one. Scheffler will take the lead by himself. And Hostler needs par or birdie on the last to earn his PGA Tour card back.
You said 2 pars he's going to win the golf tournament. Potentially 2 bogeys, and he will miss out on locking up his tour card.
It's incredible how tightly packed it is atop right now. So many storylines as we look at nationwide there, downtown Columbus. So much going on here. Hagee with the birdie opportunity here at 15.
Really subtle putt here. Might just drift left and straighten at the end.
Pretty good roll, good speed. If he pars out, he likely has his tour card.
Up at 18, Victor Hovland, this to finish up with par. And bear in mind, Craig, he came in with a whole lot of confidence, a lot of expectations, open with 64, but didn't really move it forward from there.
Nothing's given. You have to go out and earn it. He mentioned that even par on his round today. It's been a struggle on the greens. Yeah, so 7 under, currently tied for 13th. So with that tremendous 64, and Phil mentioned it, an opportunity loss right now. So now you have 2 more opportunities to go, and the pressure mounts.
Over at 16, Jamie Arnold for birdie.
About 18 feet. Definitely doable. Not much break in this putt at all. No levels to go over or anything.
So Arnold will remain 1 back in that logjam at 10 under, 5-way tie for second. 1 shot behind Scottie Scheffler, who's got a great look upcoming here at 16.
To me, one of these guys that has not locked up their privileges on the tour is going to stand up and do something special, whether it's a great shot at 17, an improbable birdie with that whole location at 18. It must be done.
Arnold 3 under on the day. Scheffler 3 under as well, but maybe not for long.
No, I don't think for long, because Scott Harrington had a putt up about twice this distance on the same line, which he missed, ended up making bogey, but his putt lipped out on the right-hand side. And I had it pretty straight, so it may have just dove right at the end. So I think Scotty was paying attention.
Well, it's a good learner. Obviously, went to the University of Texas. There's some smart people over there, Phil.
That's what I understand.
That's where you went to school.
Scheffler leads by 2. Hagee on the tee at 16.
We found out playing out from the fairway is easier to make pars, and it looks like he's become a habit. Needs birdies, though.
That's the time just to step up and prove something to yourself.
While we have a moment, let's go down to Chantel.
Burko, thank you. Well, Brendan Todd has suffered the last couple of years every golfer's worst nightmare, that being the yips. Can you explain physically and mentally what exactly that is like?
Yeah, you know, most people think of the yips as putting yips, you know, where you get over a 3-footer and your mind just goes crazy and you miss the putt. But for me, it was, you know, long irons off the ground, 3-woods off the ground, and you know, it started at the end of 2015 and it really didn't let up until the end of 2018. You know, I missed all the cuts in 2018 and was just wondering if I was ever going to really get it back and play again. And so on vacation, you know, a buddy of mine recommended Bradley Hughes to me, who used to play on the PGA Tour and now is a teaching pro out of Greenville, South Carolina. And he has an ebook online, so I went online and bought the book and read it on vacation and missed my last cut the next week and took a month off and just kind of thought about it and ended up working with him. And I really think the combination of the time off, reading his book, and working with the new sports psychologist Ward Jarvis, who actually recommended another book to me about Rick Ankiel, who is a famous baseball player who went through the pitching yips and ended up having to recreate himself and become an outfielder. So for me, it was just kind of this learning process, you know, understanding, you know, why are they happening, you know, and maybe what do I need to do mechanically and physically and mentally to get myself out of it, you know. And the yips they're a scary thing. I mean, you basically get over the ball. And you know, for 18 holes, you hit a lot of shots, and there's a lot of mental focus. And for me, I didn't really know when it was coming. I'd hit it fine on the range. You get out there and just kind of freeze up over the ball. Your mind's going crazy. All the tension goes in your arms and hands. And by the time you get to the top of your swing, you just get steep and block it, and it's gone.
Well, see, kids at home, make sure you're paying attention because reading actually can go a long way. You said you've shot 10 under the last few tournaments after a ton of missed cuts, so things are definitely trending in the right direction. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks a lot.
Back to you guys.
Wonderful story, Brendan Todd, so candid as he spent some time with Chantel.
Incredible. Scheffler now on the tee here at 17.
4-iron in hand, wind into out of the right. Oh my, I love this looking shot. Wow.
Oh, wow. What a shot that is. That's the best we've seen all afternoon. Spectacular for our leader.
Tee at 18, Ben Taylor set to go.
Difficult tee shot. You want to cut the corner, but the wind is opposed to that.
Soft.
You have a tendency to run out of room down the right.
Soft.
And, oh boy, it's deep in the forest.
Coming down the stretch on a championship Sunday in Columbus, Ohio, Scottie Scheffler in close at 17. He's got a 2-shot lead. We're back to see how it all plays out. Back at 16, second for Brandon Hagee.
Taking a while to get the right club here. 146. With a harder gap wedge, I think. That's way up in the air. Should have a bit of spin on it.
Yeah, it doesn't look great, but it's really not too bad with knowing the trouble lurking beyond.
18, second for Hostler.
Well, a par would get him his tour card. Currently in a 5-way tie for second. An excellent shot there. Can go potentially one better.
Coming off the bogey at 17, missing the fairway at the last. Heck of a second shot there by Bo Hostler.
Arnold now with his second at 17.
What did Bob Rosberg used to say, Phil? He has no chance of getting this close. That's a smart play. Just give yourself a par putt.
Boy, it's tough to do that in the situation he's in. Currently tied for second. 2 pars, gets his card. Bogey puts him on the bubble.
Up to the green at 18, Ben Taylor, one of those in the mix at 10 under par, 3 under on the day, and this close to fulfilling a dream.
27-year-old from London, England, can 2-putt and get his PGA Tour card. Not much break, straight up the hill. This is controlling the nerves. It's a very good putt, but man, wouldn't you want it about 8 inches closer?
Heck of a second shot to get from there after the wayward driver.
Yeah, remember Ben won on this tour last year in Bogota, Colombia, but that was a 4th event of the year, but finished 29th on the money list last year. Did not graduate.
17th now, Arnold's for par.
I mean, you made a great point, Phil, but you think about if he takes it on and makes double or triple, which he easily could have done, then he's totally out of it. At least if he makes a bogey, he has a chance to make a birdie at 18.
No, you're exactly right, Tripp. And he might, with a bogey and a par, he might make enough to secure his card. If not, if he just makes another cut, makes a little bit of money, then he's there. So a very valid point, but it's still just hard to make yourself do that in that situation, isn't it?
Well, it is, but I think it was a smart play. And heck, yeah, we're giving him a bogey, but he could make this. This is makeable. It's kind of uphill breaking to his left.
Whoa, you just don't want to leave yourself any extra work. Not at this juncture.
Lahiri for his birdie at 18.
Well, this would get him in a tie for 7th, so a huge putt. Oh. Good effort for the man. He's one ranked 35th in the world, played a couple of President's Cups for the international squad. He had an awful year by his standards, but a good start to these finals.
He had it to 10 under at one point through 13 holes this afternoon. He was at 10.
Yeah, bogeys at 14 and 16.
But considering the struggles this season, maybe build a little momentum.
Still worthy of a smile.
Now Hostler for birdie in a return trip to the PGA Tour.
Currently in a 5-way tie for second, plenty enough. That's 335 points. His rookie season, 46 in the FedEx Cup, 145th last year. He tweeted after the performance, he said, success is going to taste so much sweeter after the setback, and if everything stays the way it is, the young 24-year-old is going back to the tour for the 3rd year.
4 rounds in the 60s this week for Beau Hossler in Columbus. Hagee now for birdie at 16.
Great opportunity from right below the hole.
He's hit a lot of good putts, Gary. You can tell by his reaction. They're all been right on the edge.
There's a lot of good things on the greens that will go into his memory bank, I think, after this week.
Yes.
A little bit of work here for Ben Taylor. Maybe the most nervous 2-footer he's had in his life. Heck of a 4 for Ben Taylor. As it stands, young man's headed to the PGA Tour for the first time. Also 4 rounds in the 60s on this golf course. Gets high marks, passing grade here in Columbus, Ohio.
Well, while all these players are trying to earn their PGA Tour card, Scheffler already has his. He has a 2-shot lead, currently a chance here to make it 3.
I think he can put another hand on the trophy if he makes this one for sure. He's already got one on it. This is a putt he just watched Scott Harrington putt from just behind him. Had to move his coin, breaking to his left. It is fast, so matching line and speed on the 71st hole. A little more challenging than on Tuesday.
Good call there. Just didn't give it enough speed to hold its line. And that keeps everyone at 10 under in the game. You never know. In the 18th, it's a sharp dogleg left, lots of trees. Playing back into the wind today. Watch his reaction here. He thought he had it coming down the hill. Tripp said it was fast. He thought it was going to stay up. Harrington had missed his on the right.
Hagee for par at 16. He remains 10 under, 2 back. Still a chance. Likely, though, would have to go birdie-birdie for some bonus golf.
$17 now in order for bogey. Oh, no. Oh, he came in inside, earning his PGA Tour card for the first time. Oh my goodness. That's going to drop him out of the top 10. Oh, that one's going to hurt. A hole and a half away from his PGA Tour card. He's still got 2 more weeks, but what an opportunity lost. And we're on the tee at the 17th. I'm still shaking, having watched Jamie Arnold. This is Brandon Hagee on the tee. Needs a couple birdies, likely.
6-iron for Brandon. Wind is working towards the flag, though. He's swinging out from the middle and bring it back, which is what he's trying to do. It's gone sky high, though.
He's tied second. Stay there. 2 back of Scheffler. 2 pars. Gets his tour card. He's going to have to get this one up and down from just short.
At least he'll get a really good vantage point on how to play that shot with that ball behind his.
Up 1, tee at 18. Scheffler set to go.
Tell you what, he is lighthearted. He was smiling even after missing that putt. Not even going to challenge this left side. This is a smart tee shot. Going to be in the fairway.
Was such a different mentality, Trip, because he's got a 2-shot lead, but also he's already got his PGA Tour card locked up from finishing 3rd in the regular season.
Got a chance to put himself in good position. Get one of those golden tickets. Scheffler with a 2-shot lead, playing the 18th on the Scarlet course. At 18, Scheffler, his second.
153, 9-iron in hand. Wind into ever so slightly out of the right. Boy, this is exactly where it needs to be, right in the middle of the green.
Man, has he got everything in control, Trip? Thinking, the physical side of it. He talked about that professional victory. That was his first. So looking for his second.
Now Jamie Arnold trying to gather himself after what happened at 17.
That's tough to do. A little unfortunate that this just rolled into that primary rough. 139. This is a wedge.
I don't know how you recover from that. 4 putts. You fall from 5-way tie for second to 11th. It's really hard to describe the pressure unless you've sat on that Q score or had an opportunity, something within your grasp, and it's been ripped away from you. It's brutal.
17 Hagee with a pretty lofted looking club.
You just saw I had a good visual from Martin, knocked it up to about 6 inches. But you're right, there is a little loft in this.
He could easily just take a 7 or 8 iron. Don't like a little putt here coming up the hill.
Just taking that force front out of play.
Well, he's going to have a little work left coming down the hill. Not an easy putt, as we've seen. It's very fast from back there. He's been trying to make that. It was a good effort if he was.
Scott Harrington at 18.
Well, this is about putting a little money in the bank account, put some points in, and climb up amongst the 25 that already have their card. Disappointing day for Scott, but he's playing nicely. 108. He's taking this flag on. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, there's the slope. But 3 bogeys in his last 5 holes. He finished 19th on the points list into trips. It's all about priority. Within the 25, you're trying to jostle, get a little higher through these 3 finals events, potentially get you in some more starts in the wraparound.
Harrington's headed to the PGA Tour. So too is Scottie Scheffler, the 23-year-old Texas Longhorn. A win, a couple of seconds, and virtually in the top 10 of every important category this season.
He's number 1. He's number 1. He's statistically speaking first in the all-around, first in ball strike, and Tripp mentioned it. Birdie average, birdie or better percentage.
This is winner of the Evans Scholars Invitational. Plays college golf at Texas from Dallas. Please welcome Scottie Scheffler.
He's got a scoring average 69.48, and Phil has mentioned that what we saw as putting early.
He played his college golf at Northwestern
in the Bahamas.
Currently from Scottsdale, Arizona.
He
Scott
mentioned
Harrington.
how impressive the putting was, and then now that the physical acumen of a guy that's 6'3", 210, He's got all the tools, no question
And
about
our
it.
honorary observer today, our nationwide children's.
Phil, you asked Tripp what you liked about Scottie Scheffler. Why do you like his future going to the tour?
I like his demeanor. I like his body language, where he handles himself. He's got that special quality about him that really good players do, the belief in themselves. And I like where the speed is in his golf swing. He's got a lot of movement in his lower body and stuff, but he, like Greg Norman, his timing, the speed in his swing is right at the bottom at just the right time. And in fact, I told him earlier this week, don't ever touch that. Leave it alone. It's you.
It's worked. It continues to work as we head back to 17.
And Hagee has this for par. You never know. Make here. Scheffler might make bogey, birdie at the last for Hagee. That's a very good putt right there coming down the hill. It keeps his hopes alive. With his length, he can get it down there with just a wedge, possibly under the green at the 18th.
We head to the last. Jamie Arnold, long birdie putt.
Well, after what happened on the last hole, I'm sure he wants a tap in. Doesn't want anything outside of about 1 foot, I would imagine. If it doesn't go in, breaking to his left, difficult putt.
You can clear those negative thoughts from the 4 putt on the last hole, and he has. That's really well done. Just hope it doesn't rear its ugly head. That triple bogey 7 once we get all the way to Evansville for the Korn Ferry Tour Championship.
And Jamie Arnold birdied 12. He was 11 under par. He was one of those guys tied for the lead, and an hour later, not quite the same scenario. 2-putt par at the last for Arnold. What could have been here in Columbus, but to your point, Craig, a couple more opportunities in Boise, in Evansville. But he'll think about that one for a little bit. Even par 71 here in the final round.
That will be tough to get out of mind. It'll keep you up at night, or at least may potentially wake you up.
How do you try to quickly forget it?
I have no idea, because I'm still haunted by things I did 20 years ago.
Now Scheffler for birdie.
Whether Scott knows or not, his caddy Scottie McGinnis asked me, he said, what is Brandon doing behind us? And I said he didn't chip in for par, so whether he told Scottie or not, I do not know, but you got to think Scottie likes his chances to get this one in too. And the way things have gone for him today, I wouldn't be surprised if he made it.
And there's a huge leaderboard there to the right, so he's basically staring right at it. Just smartly played. Never really in trouble today on a day that was difficult with the wind and this golf course to go out and shoot. 67, impressive stuff.
Back-to-back rounds of 67 on the weekend. Scheffler into 12 under, so unless Brandon Hagee holds out his second at 18, Scottie Scheffler will be a 2-time winner on the Korn Ferry Tour.
And it's, I read some stuff earlier that he's been with Randy Smith since age 6. Randy's out there at Royal Oaks. Randy's taught a lot of great players, Justin Leonard and the like. And he said he has that mentality, that belief he can go out there and win at the highest level.
Scott Harrington for birdie at 18.
Good news for Scott is he's playing well. All parts of his game are there. They just didn't arrive today when he needed them. But I like his chances of moving up this priority list.
Ton of confidence for Harrington, finally earning that PGA Tour card at 38 years of age, and would have been maybe easy to see a little letdown considering the story.
Yeah, you're right. But he mentioned yesterday after the round that this is the least pressure and stress he's felt on a golf course in his entire career, and it began all the way back in 2003 because he did. Portland born, Portland raised. He secured his PGA Tour playing privileges last week in Portland.
And at 6 under, tied for 14th. still in search of that maiden victory out here on the Korn Ferry Tour. 2 over 73 here in the final round. What a whirlwind 7 days, though, it has been for Scott Harrington and his entire family. Has Scheffler done enough? Likely.
Yes. that we haven't seen anyone within 15 feet of that whole location, and with the wind.
Great job. Great job.
Where that whole location is perched up.
Considering the fact that Hagee needs to make 2 to force a playoff, how should he play 18 knowing that a par gets his PGA Tour card?
That's a really good question. I think if you drive it in the right spot and you have a great number, you do try and take it on.
And he's got driver.
The most important thing, get it in the fairway here, Gary.
Absolutely. Can't leak it too far around this one. Certainly got hold of it. It's a little further right than I imagined.
So now you try and figure out a way to make 4 and lock up that PGA Tour card.
He's long, but wayward on 18. We'll see if he can make a 4 on the last and secure a return trip to the PGA Tour. Whole location there, tucked over on the right side at 18. Final group coming down the last. Scottie Scheffler in with 67. He's got a 2-shot lead and just has to see if Brandon Hagee holds it out to force a playoff. But before we get to Hagee, here's Rodriguez.
Well, certainly the wrong spot to be here. Gonna just play to that left centre side of the green. All he's been doing this back 9 is hitting little chip shots on.
He's been in the wrong spot all day, Gary.
Every time.
7 bogeys on the scorecard. That's in that bunker, and that's just about impossible. Straight downwind, no green with which to work.
One of the 54-hole co-leaders, Jose De Jesus Rodriguez. A bit of a struggle here in the final round. Now Ben Martin.
So Robert Streb in a similar spot last year, didn't he, in the playoff? Was it Malamati?
That same number? Kind of same shot, just opposite wind.
Yeah.
Let it start at it, let the wind take it towards the camera.
I agree.
Okay.
Certainly a pretty thick lie here. Just going to be looking at the front edge and scuttle her up.
Well, it's the best angle, obviously, but coming out of that rough, Gary, you just have no idea how it's going to react, and you can't force the issue and leave it with a chance to go in that bunker.
Came out dead to the right. Yep.
Terrible leave. And on the downslope as well. Been a struggle for Ben, a couple over par.
Now Hagee, what does he have, Gary?
No, not a whole lot. It's not a big tree, but it blocks out the center of the green. If you go right of it, brings the bunker into place, so he's really got to go left of it, I think. You get the feeling he might have to get it up and down to make par here. I'm thinking this is a very hard shot to get even on that front left side of the green.
Yep, and rolling it through that gap. You got to shut it down 50 to pitch a wedge. I'm not looking, you got to carry this stuff first. So you need
Where
the loft.
are you seeing 50?
It's hooded, so it's hooded. So it's back in your stance and down.
It's not going on that tree.
It sure could. This is down green.
I'm not sure there's a lot of commitment in
You
that
have to hit
advice.
it like 60, 70 yards drawing.
I was saying like maybe a 9.
I think you need the loft to be able to have the spin to it. Otherwise, it just comes out dead flat out to the right.
So the mentality has
112, you said?
Yeah. You like that, or let's go? Or you like a little pitching
50,
wedge?
I almost feel like I get it on the green.
Or you see
like this.
No, you're not going up and over that tree. The second one. You're gapping it right into this little gap in here. See the second tree? See that gap? That's the low running.
I'm like in the cat corp.
Okay.
Like one of these guys.
The mentality is completely flipped for Brandon Hagee. On the tee, he was thinking 2. Now he's thinking 4. I've got to make 4 to secure my PGA Tour card.
Smart.
And it was smart indeed. Got it on the very left side of the green, and that's absolutely as good as he could have done.
Well thought out, well executed, and that officially makes Scottie Scheffler the winner of the 2019 Nationwide Children's Hospital Championship. Signing some autographs for the kid and the kids, all of them. He's a 2-time winner on the Korn Ferry Tour in 2019.
Another glove by chance? Is there any way I could have?
Well, what a week for Scottie Scheffler as we watch him signing some autographs here. And what a week for him to win, his second win. He and I had a former friend, James Reagan, who passed away from osteosarcoma a number of years ago. And for him to win here at the Nationwide Children's Hospital Championship with his ties to children's cancer and all sorts of children's ailments, it certainly has to be a poignant win for him in more ways than one. And I'm sure at some point tonight he'll be thinking about James. He's associated himself with James's foundation, Triumph Over Kid Cancer. So what a great moment for Scottie Scheffler.
Sometimes things are meant to be. And as you said, Phil, for Scottie to win here with the ties and the commitment to helping children in need, awfully special. Now, Brandon Hagee, long birdie putt here at the last.
Well, just 2 putts to get the PGA Tour card up the hill. Should move right at the end.
You say just, but it's still a tough task. Get up. It's hard to be jumping out of his throat. He's going to have to work hard on that to make that putt. Does do a lot of work with meditation. That should help in this moment.
Hagee currently a 4-way tie for second. That par would secure a return trip to the PGA Tour. Again, all about the points in the finals. We've sort of approximated anything in that 200, 210, 220 range. Should get it done, but a 4-way tie for second is what, Craig? Well over 300 points?
Yeah, 367 points. So, yes, absolutely. It's going to be the longest 5 feet of his life.
Hagee now for par to head back to the tour.
I tell you what, sometimes those moments can be overwhelming. The meditation he does, it talked about increasing his mental focus and ability to stay calm under pressure. That was an immense pressure with the PGA Tour card at hand. He didn't get it done, but still, with everything he's been through, Steve, you know, 2-way tie for 5th. He's still over 200 points. He'd much rather have made that, but put himself in a good position.
Rodriguez, nice up and down to save his par. Not the Sunday he was looking for. One of the 54-hole cold leaders. 77 here on Sunday for Rodriguez. but he'll have 2 more opportunities in Boise and Evansville, where he won a year ago. Now Ben Martin at 18.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Couple over here in the final round for Ben Martin. 6 under par.
Ceremonial putt.
4-way tie for 14th for Ben Martin. But good to see him healthy, playing some good golf, and with it being official, Scottie Scheffler, the champion, who will not be on this list on the finals 25. Here's how it breaks down.
Well, we sort of started the week saying maybe 220 points. I'm not sure we're hedging on that yet, but Brendan Todd, Bo Hostler, Ben Taylor, 3-way tie for second. That's why they're getting 417 points. Streb, Hagee.
They might have done enough.
2-way tie for fifth is 210 points. Yes, they might. Great round of golf from Robert Streb to go out and then shoot that 66 today in round 4, but disappointing 3-putt for Brandon Hagee.
That's how they stand through week 1 of the finals as we go back down to Chantel.
Berko, thank you. Scottie Scheffler, now a 2-time Korn Ferry Tour winner. You won in a playoff earlier in the season and now went low enough on a Sunday to get the job done. How conscious of you were where you were at on the leaderboard coming down the stretch?
Usually very conscious. I checked the leaderboards where they were, and there's a lot out there, so I had a good idea of where I stood and what I needed to do.
How freely did it allow you to play, knowing that you already locked up a PGA Tour card?
It's very freeing. You know, this is a stressful time of year for a lot of guys, and it's nice to be able to play without that stress and those thoughts in the back of your head. You know, Scott and I talked about that a lot today, which was good. It's nice to have that locked up.
You made an influential change. On Wednesday, I saw you with 20 clubs in your bag. You wouldn't tell me exactly why that was the case. You ended up making a change to your shafts. What was that all about?
I was just struggling with the flight of my irons, and I didn't realize it until I hit my buddy Vince's clubs last week. We were messing around while he was waiting to see if he was going to be in the 25 or not, so we were just hanging out trying to distract him, and I hit them. They felt great, and it was on my mind all week, and I wasn't able to test them out until Wednesday afternoon, and I knew it was going to be on my mind while I was playing, so I was like, I might as well make the change now versus trying to change before Greenbrier or something like that, and it looks like it paid off.
2 more final events, and then you'll be going to the PGA Tour. What kind of goals, short-term and long-term, do you have?
You know, I don't really look too far ahead. I'm just going to, enjoy tonight, probably get some dinner with a few buddies and celebrate, and then we'll go from there.
All right, well said. Congratulations.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Back to you, Berko.
Thank you, Chantel. Well done to Scottie Scheffler. Congratulations on his second Korn Ferry Tour victory in 2019. He was the champion, but 3 other winners here this week that we can officially say: Ben Taylor, Bo Hostler, Brendan Todd. What do you say about Brendan Todd for where he has been to get back to the tour?
Unexplainable. Just sort of what we saw with Scott Harrington last week, to the depths that he has risen from. I give him a hat tip. And, for what Brandon Hagee has dealt with in injuries, Bo Hostler coming back from a disappointing sophomore season on the PGA Tour, commend them all.
Hagee and Streb might have done enough. We will wait and see the next couple of weeks in the Korn Ferry Tour finals. Plenty will be looking to get a little closer to fulfilling that lifelong dream and earning a PGA Tour card. For our producer, Rob Sharp, director Pete Esposito, and the entire hardworking crew and men and women on our Golf Channel crew, I'm Steve Burkowski saying so long from Columbus, where Scottie Scheffler's a champion. We'll see you next week in Boise.